Hey guys, how's it going? I'm gonna do another video here. I'm gonna do some Tour 11. It's the new setup with the they got some of the Milano in there. They got the Sunshine Glades, and they got of course, the usual Southern Pines Tour. And I'm just gonna show you what I'm currently playing with. I'm gonna use Saturn, Sniper, Claw, Apocalypse, Endbringer, Nirvana, Spitfire. And let's go see if we can get a couple matches going here. See if we can get some real opponents instead of just some bots playing against. It's been getting harder and harder to draw real opponents, I feel. I think the best strategy for that is like dropping down trophies. If I fell down to like 3,000, I'd probably get them all the time. Most of what I play is, you know, kind of like that. Like it'll take forever to spin, and then they'll give me just a fake opponent. Of course, we got Straight in the Wind. Straight in the Wind, I probably won't try to do too much here, because I know that the chances of me getting to that last fairway pretty minimal. I am going to use the Kingmaker. I'm going to obviously try to put it down there as far as possible. So what you'll see me do, if you see what I'm doing with a 9 wind, I'm going to do it about 3 bars. And you see kind of it's keeping it just a little bit short on my third hop. Then I'm going to do just some aiming, and I'm going to do full ball just like I was showing. And with like a 9 in the face, it's usually pretty spot on. We'll see how far it runs out to. It usually leaves like a little bit of room for error. And you see I got, you know, plenty of yards there. I could have gave it maybe like 15 more yards. Of course, they give him a money wind. With that wind, I feel you can go for this sucker. It's good enough to put it on the green here. It's very close. He's not really taking an aggressive approach. I would do more hook than this. But if he lands it real close on the right side, he could maybe... Nope. Nevertheless, not a problem being there. So it's worth the risk. I wouldn't have done it like him. I would have went full hook, which means you would have had to play a lot of break. One of the things you'll see me do is I'll try to, you know, figure out. I mean, it feels like I'm kind of in the 50 percentile range of this club, which usually puts it around 2 rings per, give or take. Maybe a little bit more. So I might go about 4 rings here, but then I might go 5 just for the adjustment. So you see I'll try to put it pretty spot on, more or less, kind of right on. Oh geez, Wi-Fi cut out. It actually ended up giving me a little bit more time, so that was pretty lucky. See, I'm right about 5 bars. Probably should have played a little bit more hook than that, but nope, I got it. Usually I'll try to counter it, and you saw I was kind of doing that a little bit, but I didn't do it a ton. I usually might add just a tiny bit more recorrect than that, but it was pretty spot on because of the extra wind that I played there. So 4... Like for example, 4 rings there would have been about, give or take, 9 to 10 miles per hour, but we had almost 11, so it was probably like 4.5 rings, give or take, and I did a full 5 at least, and then also some counter as well. And as you could see, it was pretty spot on, more or less, aim wise. So you see, this is kind of a nice tutorial for this hole because, you know, nine times out of 10 or 7 times out of 10, you're going to want to just hit it in that first fairway and just pitch it in. It's kind of just the way to play it. I'll very rarely actually do that. I'll just go for the green every time, just put it in the bunker. I can make it from the bunker, but as you can see, kind of unnecessary shot. Sometimes it probably actually makes it even harder. Like, I'm probably making it harder on myself doing it that way. But the game just gets boring, you know, taking the safe shots and doing all that. So you'll see me, you know, I'll try to test the limits on things a little bit, as opposed to just doing the shots that you're supposed to. It's better to just get creative and play the game, in my opinion. I don't take the game too seriously. Sure, it sucks losing, but I don't know, it's pretty fun to just play and try not to at least get too serious about things. So on a win like this, I usually don't play this hole with a win like this. I'm really going to be creating here. I don't know the first thing about what to tell you how to play this. I'm definitely going to go for more of the full side spin. I'm probably going to do a full hook, more or less, so normally it would be like here and here, but I'm going to correct back for that 11, which will be maybe 7 rings, give or take, and then I'm going to do a full hook. I have no idea if this is even in the ballpark, but what I'm trying to do is get aggressive enough that I missed that bunker, which I did. So that was good. Oh no, I still spun it into the water. So obviously too much front spin. I had no idea what I was doing. I was completely just making that shot up because I haven't played a win like that since they originally came out with the tournament here. It's been that long since I've played this hole. One of the reasons that I was doing that full hook like you saw, plus the extra side spin, was to make sure the second hop missed the bunker. So that's the reason that I was playing it like that. And it just so happens that it ran into the water. It was kind of a bad break more than anything. It's not necessarily the end of the world. Chances are the wind will change. Chances are he's not going to get an eagle. So odds are I can still get my birdie and tie this guy. But we'll see. Let's see what wind they give me first before I get too, confident here. So my typical shot is usually about 1 top spin here, more or less. I'm going to go pretty full ball here. I usually go about 5 rings on a win like that. So you'll see me put it out here. I'm going to try to counter it a little bit. This will take off a little bit distance because it'll be countering the wind, plus it'll create less side spin action. So what you'll see is the ball, it'll have less side spin on it because of, so you see I'm coming up a little bit short. Probably could have went another ring. I try to stay on the short side because I don't want to go long and go through the green. So you'll see I'll play it a little bit conservative. But doing little curls like that, it'll counter that side spin that wind is inducing on the ball. So even though my wind play was pretty spot on, it's going to create extra side spin. And you see, he ended up making the pitch anyway. So I don't even know if this is a live opponent or just a replay that I just ended up playing. But you see, it's perfectly, an easy hole there. There's many ways to get that hole. The best thing is I mean, what I like is just missing that bunker. I feel like I can basically put that in anywhere missing the bunker. The fact that he made that was pretty lucky because I mean, you saw, if it didn't bounce, if it didn't land on the hole, there was basically no way it was going in. So the best way to play that hole is to just avoid that bunker. I feel like I can make it from the rough. I can make it from the fairway. I can make it from the green. The only place I can't make it from is the water, of course, and the bunker. I can still make it from there, but I just like playing the percentages. Like, I'm probably not gonna, hit a perfect ball every time on a bunker shot. It's very hard to. I haven't been practicing this game very much, so I mean, that makes it even more challenging. I feel like you're playing your best when you're actually doing, 20, 30, 40, 50 holes a day. I'm doing like maybe 2. I haven't been doing too many holes a day. Now, granted, this is tournament week, so I played all 9 tournament holes, but aside from that, I've played very minimally today. So on a win like this, I might go over this way. It's a little risky here just because of the direction that it's pointing. So I'm just going to play it this way. It's going to clear that bunker, which is the good news. So that's why you'll see me still go full power, go quite aggressive. Look how far my second hop is. The bunker's really not in play. So that's why you'll see me still go that way, because it's not the end of the world to hit it where I just did. But going the other way to the right obviously has its advantages. This guy got even more wind than me, so he can really pound it up there. And again, he's going to want to do something very similar to what I did. I'd even take off a little bit extra. I wouldn't hit this quite full if I was him. I'd do a little bit extra hook to the slice to the right. He might end up running out of fairway with this approach. We'll see. Nope, he still got it. Part of that is because of the navigator as opposed to doing a Titan. Titan would have sent that, but I'm going to have the advantage on a tiebreaker hole. Depending on the hole, two side spin is pretty essential for this tour. So if I was you, I would recommend doing your I would highly recommend doing. So you see I'm kind of on the short end of this club. So on the short end of the club, I'm going to have to underplay this, which means I might go 5 rings here, give or take. 4 rings, maybe with a little counter. Of course, I'm going to pull it. Make sure, if anything, I get to the hole, I hope, which I did. You see I'm going deep, so it doesn't spin back off the green. As you saw, I was using my full backspin there. So on full backspin, you want to make sure that you're past the hole and that you're not short swinging, because you don't want that sucker to just zip right off the green. So it's really not even a shot that I needed to do over there. Like sometimes I'll just do 7 bars as opposed to going the full 9, I believe it is. You see, since I was on the short end of the club, which means it's not going to get up into the wind, sorry, I'm still here. So let's go to this playoff hole. Hopefully they give us some par 3. This will be the first par 3 for the video. So hopefully we can get, at least 2 or 3 for me to post this video. And hopefully it's... So I have videos of the Southern Pines holes. So let's hope... so I have videos of all the par 3s. You just have to search between videos. Like some of them are on different tours. You just have to really search my videos. I'd really like to get them all kind of on one video. So I'm glad this hole's coming up. And then hopefully we can get the Milano hole too. And on a win like this, I'm going to do a driver. I'm going to do backspin. I'm going to do just like this guy does. Except I'm going to be able to do even more backspin than him, which actually gives me a slight advantage on him. So I definitely have the advantage over this guy, but you never know how well he's going to execute this. So one of the things that I would do if I was him, and for example, if I had an Apocalypse 5, I'd kind of underplay this wind. I might do it more towards 5 rings, which it looks like he's doing. Which if it was me playing this, I'd go maybe 7 rings. Because my ball is going to be more of a stop shot. You see, he almost got that. It was just coming in quite too hard. You see it's going to run by quite significantly. So one of the advantages of getting Apocalypse 6, I should never miss by that far with Apocalypse 6. It should be almost impossible. So what you'll see me do, I'll do full backspin. I'll keep it a little on the short side like this. But I know it's basically a stop shot. As soon as it hits that mark, it's just going to stop. So you'll see me overplay stuff. Like for example here, 8, I'd usually go maybe 4-ish. I'm going to go an extra bar. At least. But I'm also going to put just a tiny bit of curl on it as well. Just to really get it shooting around there. Towards the hole. Staying away from the bunker. That's part of the reason that you'll see me overplay this. Is to stay away from the bunker. And you see, that's the reason I put the extra curl, so it would actually roll down that hill and kind of feed. And as you can see, I was just a little too underplayed there. So you saw kind of 2 approaches to play that. I understand you probably don't have Apocalypse 6 watching this video. If you have Apocalypse 5 and you can do 4 balls of backspin, you can see he could have pulled that shot off. All he had to do is hit it 3 yards shorter, and his shot would have been right on point. So that's one of the things to think about is, so what else can you use? If you have an extra mile 7, extra mile 8, anything like that, those are going to be the clubs that you want to use on this tour. Either those or so I can show you how to play this safe. Yeah, we'll just do the safe shot here. There's no point of getting super aggressive here. It's kind of a complicated shot that I don't really recommend. So what you're going to see me do, you see where I have it stopping. If you're not playing a club, so what you'll see me do is play about 5 bars, but I'm going to keep it on the short end too. You see, because it's a little downwind, so I don't want this to actually run through into the rough. So what you saw me do is I pulled it back lefter than normal. When I turned it, when I rotated, I pulled it back left because it was keeping it shorter. Left of where basically, straight back would be. That way it was bringing it back a little bit shorter to keep me on the safe side. I know it's going to land shorter if I keep it to the short end of where my stop shot showed. So you saw me just get a little extra protective. Okay, so we got downwind here. I'm gonna go this way. See, I got my sniper. I'm gonna do a little bit of backspin, a little bit of side spin, and then I'm just going to, just for the fun of it, I'm gonna play it full ball. You don't have to play it like this. You can play, the smart approach. But I feel like there's never gonna be a shank that's gonna, especially with sniper. You just saw how early I released that, and I'm not even close to the rough. So you see, it's plenty safe playing it like that. And what I like about that is I can play it more of a stop shot as opposed to watching it run out. So that's why you saw me do something like that. Go extra power, even though it makes it, it lowers your accuracy, but it just makes it stop a lot quicker. It's kind of a safe shot. So on this, we're kind of towards the middle of the club, which means I might go maybe in the neighborhood of 1.2 per ring. But as you can see, the bounces are going to be a little inconsistent here too. So I'm going to do 1 bar of topspin. I'm going to try to dial this up. And I'm going to do maybe like 8-ish rings. Maybe with a little counter too. See if this you see it just, the line was perfect, but it hit that spot on the green there, that second hop, that was where it was releasing out. So if I would have hit that face, the line looked pretty nice. It might have gave that a run for its money. There's like 2 bounces. I mean, you saw kind of, if you watch my replay there was like 2 ways that it was bounces. One was like soft, and then one was like the run through. And I just unfortunately landed in that exact spot where it ran through. So that was a little unfortunate. So let's get to another tiebreaker here. Okay, this is another hole. Another new hole, so that's good. As you can see, we're going to be a little bit on the shorter end of the... So I'm kind of in between clubs here. There's 2 ways to play this. It's kind of with a sniper that would be kind of under, it would be basically be full, and then I take off a little bit. It's kind of a hard shot. The way I'm going to try to play it is maybe more of like 4 bars, and I'm going to play it with this. And I think, more or less, I don't think I have to add. I think I got to play the wind. I might try to counter it a little bit. Give or take 5 bars. Just trying to land it right on the front. Yeah, see, it's not too bad there. What I did was, just a stock Saturn. I think I did 4-ish bars and then just angled it basically what I thought. You see, I didn't pull it back. I didn't drag it back there. I just pulled it over. So I was basically trying to anticipate, well, how much over did I need to go? And what I kind of was guesstimating was like 5-ish rings based on the angle of my wind. Is that wind would take it, especially with the extra correction, would be give or take 5 rings. So you saw that's what I was trying to do. I don't ever try to pull it back like this. This is going to make things a little bit harder. It's harder to anticipate the run out when you do it like this. Sure, you can do it this way, but I think it just makes the shot a little bit luckier when you're not doing it like a pure stop shot. And as you see, he actually did play that pretty solid. He almost, figured our way to beat me, but I feel like when you're playing it like that, it was more of a guess. Like he was just kind of winging that. Because you didn't have a club. You're in between clubs, which makes things a little bit more harder. Oh, let's see what we got at 8. As you can see, brand new clubs. You don't always get what you want. Despite what people might think. How they say, oh, all these guys have all these great clubs, like they must get them all the time. Well, as you can see, I just proved that theory incorrect. But not to say B52 is a bad club. It's not exactly anything I can use until it gets up to maybe a Tour 7, so. So, this is one of the holes I really like. It's one of my favorites for this tour because I love the fact that every wind, plus having 2 directions to go, it just makes this a very diverse hole. There's so many different approaches here. So you see this guy, he did pretty good. Did pretty good to get it out there. Let's see if my wind's very similar. So one of the things I might usually do on a wind like this is I might switch up and do a Titan just to get a little bit extra wind. But I'm going to resist the urge and I'm going to play to my advantage and just get that extra 10% on them on the tiebreaker. And you see, I'm going to try to go full ball here, which means I'm going to want to cheat the left a little bit. I want to make sure that this is left enough to where I'm not going to run out. This is kind of like an extra trick that I can use to get extra yardage on this drive, which is going more left. And you see how long I am to the left. If I would have went straight, it would have hit the rough, which means I would have had to take off distance. But look how far I was able to get this down by cheating it to the left there. I outdrove that guy by, a good 30 yards. Now, I really should have put my Cataclysm back in my bag, and I could have really took advantage. Even being into the wind here, I feel like as good as that drive was, I could have put this thing on the green with my Cataclysm. So a lot of times you'll see me use that club on this tour. The only reason I'm really not is 2 reasons. One, for the tournament, I've been using Sniper. It just doesn't seem Cataclysm has value on this tournament. So I haven't been using it. It's the Halloween tournament. The second Halloween tournament. So it seems like Sniper Hammerhead's kind of the way to go. And I've just been using Sniper because, everybody knows Sniper. It's just a well-known club, and a lot of guys have it in their bag. So I'm just doing this kind of for tutorial sake, too. And you see I'm just trying to beat the crap out of this, get this as far as possible because I know it's not getting there. Whereas my Cataclysm, I could pound this. I could get this right up on the hole. But you don't need to be right up on the hole to get this eagle here, especially with the extra. So I'm playing the Kingsmaker. It's going to make my third shot a little bit easier than his, plus for the tiebreaker. Having that little wind advantage, it gives me the advantage over this guy. But what you're going to see me do here, I'm probably going to go for the dunk seems risky. I'm just going to do it. I really don't care if I miss it. I'll probably send it over the green if I miss it. But I should be able to get the comebacker. I mean, I kind of want to go to the extra hole, so it's like I'm just trying to think of a way. Like, I feel like if I go for the pitch normally, I'm going to make it. And with the dunk, it might be a little bit more risky. But I also want to keep this to where I'm giving you guys kind of the best idea as to how to play this shot. So as you see, if I was to play this the top spin way, which I'm probably going to because it's the best shot for you guys to play. See, for some reason it's acting just a tiny bit glitchy, so what I'll do is I'll just side spin it just a little bit. I was hoping that would take away some of that glitch, but it's not really. And as you see, what I'm going to do is I'm not really going to need to play too much wind here. I'm going to still keep this inside club. Didn't mean to hit that great ball. Might not cost me, though. That's one of the advantages of pulling it short like that. As long as you can still make sure that you pull it back and actually, don't add any extra power, take off any power. It gives you margin for error because of how small that bullseye is. So you should have shanked that, but I really didn't shank it. It was only moving by probably a 1/10 of a yard or a 20th of a yard. Like it was, the arrow was so small that it didn't even really matter that I shanked it, and that's one of the reasons that you'll pull it back. So if you don't have an Endbringer 7, which most guys don't, you can do that with Rapier, and I see guys doing that constantly. One of the most important things is make sure that you're not short hitting it and you're not long hitting it. You put it dead center every time if you're going to do that shot. That's the most important thing that I've found that you need to make sure that you're doing every time, is putting it in the center. So aside from that, you also want to check the green and make sure that where you're landing doesn't have like two hops where one will go way over the pin and one short. Usually when I find areas like that, you'll see, as you saw me just do right there, I readjusted, I put a little side spin on it, and just kind of changed my landing zone. If I can't find anything there, I'll usually do this super fast, but since I'm talking, it makes it a little bit harder. If I can't find anything like that, I'll just switch to the dunk real quick, and then, like last second dunk it. So there's about 2 ways I play this one. And one, I'll just land it, over on this side. I'm not going to have the luxury of doing that this time. But I know that... So one of the things that you'll see me do here is I'll play about 6 rings, more or less. Which you see, I basically have it kind of spot on to where it's going to hit the tip of that fairway. And I'll just do this. Maybe just a tiny counter wind. Of course, the great ball. I don't think the great ball is going to cost me too much. We'll see. We'll see. Yep, it did. Well, I'm not sure if that's the only contributing factor that cost me because I seem kind of dead in the middle there. Usually I'll curl it to kind of counter. I didn't do that there. I'll do like a full right curl to keep it out of that bunker. And for whatever reason, you know, it just skipped my mind here. But that's one of the things I'd recommend. Plus, another thing you can do is you can, most clubs don't have, you know, 6-7 bars of backspin or 7 bars of upspin, so you probably don't have to worry about running. As you can see, that guy could barely get it over to the other side. So the fact that I put it in the bunker, just kind of my own doing, but you know, most guys aren't going to be able to, you know, just murder that into the bunker like that either. So, but that's okay, because I have no problem showing you kind of how to scramble on this hole. We got a favorable wind for scrambling. So, as you can see, it doesn't look like there's ever going to be an amount of topspin that's too much. I don't necessarily need to go full. One of the things that you'll see me do here, I'm going to underplay this, so I might do like, I want this to be my landing zone because I'm going to do it with curl. So what you're going to see me do, I'm going to kind of adjust for that. And then I'm going to do this with curl like I was mentioning. Favoring the right side, of course, because I don't want to miss left in the rough. You see all that curl? I'm keeping it into the body, the thick body of the green. I didn't do anything like super impressive lengthwise, like adding power. I just spun it up into the middle. Get your eagle. Now, the only winds that would make that an extremely hard shot would have been if they would have gave it to me straight in the face. Because as you see, I had plenty of room to play around with there. So if this guy misses this, for this video's sake, I'm going to miss mine too, and we're just going to go to overtime. I'm glad that I'm shooting second, because I'd typically put it in if I was going first. And I'm going to let you know he is overplaying this, judging by what he's done so far. So I'm hoping he readjusts or potentially shanks this, but he has this overplayed. Typically when you're that close in the rough, so rough, the trajectory, it comes out super low. So you don't have to play a lot of wind. Like I would maybe go a ring and a half there. Would be like a guesstimation. Oh shoot, I forgot I was supposed to miss that. Totally phased my mind. Sorry about that. I wanted to play a couple more par 3s, but I'm going to do some more holes anyway, so that's the good news. But I did not mean to make that. That was just a case of talking too much and not thinking. Nevertheless, you're getting, this video is giving you a little tutorial on how to, of course, scramble there. I didn't freak out. I didn't get, you know, too scared or anything like that. See, a lot of the balls that I'm playing with are Kingsmakers. It has to do with kind of the winds that they're giving me. If you can't do Kingsmaker, just do Titan. It's almost the same thing. What you're going to see me do here, 2 bars, even straight into the like 2-3 bars, somewhere in there. And then I'm just going to do it with curl. And that's it. You can do this with Titan as well. There's nothing really fancy. I didn't add power, nothing. I just did my curl, did my side spin, did a little bit of top spin. The biggest reason you see me doing Kingsmaker, A, I have so many of them. I'm still in the 900 some of them. I feel like I cannot get rid of those balls. And of course the pumpkin balls, they're essentially the exact same thing. So I have another 100 of those. Last tournament I think I got 5th, 4th, 6th, somewhere in there. It was good for 100 pumpkin balls. That's all I got. I haven't really been playing this game too much. So a lot of the holes that I know, I still know really well. A lot of the holes that I don't know, I'm not practicing. So I don't really know how to do new holes anymore, because I don't have the plays on them. You see something like this, I'll have, so it looks like I'm more in the middle of the club here. See, I used to play this hole all the time, and what you'll see me do here is I'll do left spin like this. And one of the reasons that I'd, recommend doing this would just be for the sole fact of being able to, keep it away from the rough. Make sure that you're safe. So I'm going to play about 10 rings here for a 12 wind because I'm kind of in the middle of the club. So what you're going to see me do, I'm going to do that. And then I'm also going to counter it with a little, 30% curl. And I'm hoping that I'm more or less spot on. We'll see. Nope. Too much. So I think what that tells me is that I was shorter than half, and I shouldn't have took off that. I shouldn't have took off quite. Maybe I should have took off 9 rings, and I maybe shouldn't have counted that much. But it could have to do with elevation as well. And I don't remember exactly how to play all these holes. Plus, I could have actually adjusted a bit. It looks like he's at about 5. He's kind of more or less the same spot I am. He's at least 11 rings there, but he's not doing any curl back at all. Oh, that was unlucky. He just hit that thing. So here's the problem with going first. I have no idea if he's going to make that. It's a very makeable shot. So it sucks that this is the one time that I'm probably not going to just give it to him, because he can still make that. It's not too terrible to make it from there. Now, one of the things you have to remember is you want to underplay that wind, and don't. What a lot of guys will do, they'll adjust this too much. So what I'll do is I'll try to hop this off the fairway or off the fringe, for example. Yeah, this is what I do. Exactly what he's doing. Exactly what he's doing. Plus, it's a straight wind. See, this is something you can't account for. All he needs here is a perfect ball. That's it. If he hits a perfect ball, this is in. And of course, great ball. It's going to push it out to the right too much. It's not coming back. But as you can see, that's the difference between making that. That's how easy that wind play was. You just never know what they're going to give you. So if you saw what he did there, it was ideal. As close as he was, that wasn't going to play more than a ring. It's like even if you had to play a side wind, you wouldn't want to adjust more than a ring there, as close as he was. So we haven't got many of the par 3s. The good news is you guys have seen me play the par 3s in other videos. All you have to do is find my Tour 11. They haven't gave us a Tour 11 hole yet. So I know you guys know the holes. You've seen them. So this is actually my preferred wind. I'm going to play this shot. You can do it with a Thor's or Apocalypse. So even with the Thor's, you know, I'm still going to take a little bit off of this. So which means, so you see I'll go and then I'll take just a tiny bit off. Favoring the left side. I'm not worried about, but you see I'm just doing like a full backspin shot, keeping it away from, just getting it somewhere in the middle of the fairway. I don't care if it's super long. It's really not important to me. It's safe. It just makes this hole really easy. And you see his wind, he can easily do that. All you would need is, so it's a little bit harder with Apocalypse 5. I may not recommend that shot with an Apocalypse 5. He's going to have to land it pretty close. If he wants to do it, he'll do 4 backspin. And if I was him, I'd add nothing. I'd just do a normal ball here if he's going to do this. I'm hoping he doesn't add. He's adding a little bit. Now, he might start to get a little on the long side. I don't recommend this with Apocalypse 4. See, look how far that's, look how deep that's already getting. See, this isn't the death of him though. So if it was me doing that, I would have added absolutely nothing. I would have maybe even played it just on the front edge of the club there, to where it was a little bit on the shorter side. So let's see here. I'm definitely on the shorter end of the club here. So I'm going to play 6 rings. I'm thinking 6.5, somewhere in there, plus extra correction. So I'll maybe go 7 rings, just so it's long enough. But I'm also going to curl it back just a tiny. And let's see if this plays more or less spot on. Nope, it's still a little short. It's because I didn't quite go enough power. But you see the line was kind of spot on. It just ran out of steam because it didn't have enough club. But that's okay. So you see, he's not completely dead. So what he did isn't wrong. It's just not optimizing his chances of holding this out. So if I was him, I would go probably 6 rings here. If it was me, he just went about 5, somewhere 5, 6. It should be enough. I would do a little bit of correction though, or shank right, and of course he did shank left. That's not what you want. Oh, you got collared, you got pushed back into the green, but it's not where you wanted to miss. You're better off playing it safe. You see, you got all that slope on the right side. Why miss left? There's absolutely no reason to miss that shot left. You got the wind helping pushing it left. Like, why even bring in the left side of the hole there at all? Because even missing right, it would still take the slope and it would funnel to the hole. But as you see, no harm done. We're actually going to get to play another playoff hole, which we haven't done much of in this video. So hopefully they give us the Milano hole. Not really important. I do have the Milano hole. You would just have to search for it. You'd probably have to search for Tour 9 or something. And of course this hole, I'm probably going to take... Okay, so with this wind, this is a tricky wind. So one of the things you're going to see me do, I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive with this play. I don't usually play it this way, but I want to. Just so you can see another approach here as to playing this. So one of the things you'll see me do, I'm aiming out more out to the right. And then I'm going to overplay, maybe like 6-ish rings. I'm going to keep it on the short end of the club too. I'm going to try to go perfect. Great. It might not be the end of the world. We'll see. And the reason I played it this way is I really wanted you guys to see a different approach. Not a lot of guys play it that way. You see it really funnels in there nice. And even above all what I just said there, it seems to curl around more left and like really get more towards the hole instead of cut. I'm sure you've seen this so many times, and it'll cut in front of the hole to the right and sometimes past the hole depending on how much slope. But you see that really checked up nice, and it was going more at the hole. And one of the reasons that I chose to do 4 bars there is because I know a lot of you guys with extra miles still have 4 bars there. So you can actually replicate that shot. It's actually quite genius. Now, what did you see me do there, though? I aimed farther towards the right. I didn't get super aggressive on the left side of the fairway. And there's a reason for that. So when you pull back the club on the short end, like you saw me do. So this guy also has it pretty nice, but his is just slingshotting a little too much. So I'm thinking that he's going to pass the hole, and he's not going to be able to beat me. But he also had a very nice shot there. But aside from what I was just mentioning, so one of the reasons you saw me play it more out towards the right, not get super aggressive on the left where that rough is because when you do that full curl like I was doing there, and you pull it back short, what does that mean? That means that when it actually carries farther, all that extra distance beyond 100%, it's overcompensating, it's over curling. So every little bit that it goes beyond 100% there is going to make it go that much more left. So sometimes you'll see guys and they'll play it kind of aggressive on the left side, and they'll actually hit that rough because they didn't account for that. They didn't think that over like going beyond, and it's only the wind taking it more than 100%. But all that extra wind with that curl that you have coupled, all that extra curl is going left and long. So you'll see guys they'll miss that left. So you just want to play a little cautious. And you even saw me miss right there. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss left but I was going for perfect. If I would have actually hit perfect there on that, we might have been looking at a thing of beauty because I just missed to the right. Like it wasn't by a lot. So if it would have been curling around a little bit more left, it might have been spot on. You might have actually got to see the hole in one, which is a pretty rare feat for Tour 11. I've seen it done a couple times. I think I've done it once. Not very often. I've seen out of probably 100 times seeing that hole or 200 times playing that hole, I've seen it maybe 3 times, 4 times. Very small number. With this wind, just for fun, let's play this with Berserker. I can't remember if this is going to clear. It's close. It's in the ballpark. I don't remember the exact number that clears that rough on the other side. 12.7, plenty, yeah. I think the number is around 10 something. Slow down. Shit. Almost perfect. Almost perfect. Nevertheless, from there, I'm not dead. Now I'm kind of dead. That's the last wind that you want to see with the Berserker, because now I have an overplay of the wind. Here's the good news, though. I'm pretty sure, he can't get there, so that's my good news, is that he can't get there, because he would have been able to with his normal shot. He would have been able to get there with as good as he hit it. So he's definitely getting a little bit more aggressive towards the left than I would. I'd just play this out to the right and, play it safe. We'll see what his shank is, though. Maybe he was factoring that in now. He's kind of going for this. You see, he's really going over this rough, like right on that edge, which he got it. It's in the fairway. So he pulled it off, but it's just more aggressive than I recommend, because you can just put it, you can put it in safe measures there. You don't have to, overdo things. Let's see. So this is kind of a hard shot. I'm going to try to play it as aggressive as I can, which means I'm going to basically go full ball. I'm going to try to go for this a little bit. I'm going to have to overplay the wind, which means I'm going to play 9-ish bars is what I'm doing there. That's probably going to hit the rough. Fairway, good. Whew, just barely. And you see the next hop, just on the fairway. I needed to miss right there. I was trying to get aggressive, make sure that I missed right, but as fast as that thing's going, I still missed left. So let's see. He might go for a dunk here. We'll see. What I like about this, so if he misses, he's going to be off the green. But it's going to give me an option to basically potentially win this outright on this guy, which is anytime I use a berserker and some guy has a kingsmaker, I want to beat him outright. Like, I'm kind of almost terrified of playing him, not beating him outright, because he's going to have such an advantage on me in the overtime here. And he's playing this pretty spot on. He's playing it like, I think like 7-ish bars, 7 rings of. I think he's kind of spot on to making this, which he did. He got it. So hopefully I can get it too. But even getting this, it might not be enough to beat this guy. So on the short end of, I'm more on the short end of the club than he was. Plus, I'm more straight. My shot's a lot easier than his. I'm going to do this right about here, more or less. I think that's about spot on. I'm about 6 rings. I'm not going to add any extra. Just going to do it straight up. Great ball. I don't think the great ball is going to cost me because I'm so close. So adding any extra there could have caused me to miss that. Which you can see I didn't do. Okay, so this is good. This is another hole. So the only hole we didn't get was the Milano. But if you search for my Tour 9 videos, you can actually see the Milano hole. You're actually going to get to see this hole in a berserker, which, take it or leave it, could be, just a little bit more interesting, because you're going to get to see a play that not a lot of guys are hitting. Almost nobody has to play a berserker on this hole. So you see he has Apocalypse 3. He's probably going to play about 5 rings. He's underplaying this win so far. So let's see what his correction looks like. He's going to need, I feel like, even more curl than that. On my screen, this is an underplay. He hits a perfect ball. It's going to be a little left. He's going to need some kind. Oh, that was a favorable bounce. So, and then part of that, man, his is spot on for, that was a really good bounce. So that's going to be almost impossible to beat. I'm going to go at it with Apocalypse. I'm going to do it more. So, this is kind of the landing zone that I want. It's like right here. So I have to think I'm going to need maybe 7 bars to make this happen. So that's what you're going to see. And then you're going to see me do definitely extra curl on top because of the... So 7-ish bars. I'm going to keep it a little on the short end. Perfect ball. See, 7's kind of spot on. It looks like it's checking up too much. It's not gonna have the trajectory to get down there. I had to get a little bit more aggressive If I would have, I needed that to carry at least 2 more yards. So I didn't have to, take off anything there. I needed to get a little bit deeper to beat that guy, or at least, go towards the hole. So, again, okay, so we just hit the hour part for this video, so I'm just going to stop this one there. Hopefully you guys, could take something from this video, and that the shot types that you got to see on this, even if they weren't mine, like that last guy, his shot, I think he got a little bit lucky. He ended up landing on the right side of that fairway. It took a nice kick for him to get down to where it was, because if it would have landed where he was aiming, it would have been much flatter. That second hop would have been, or that first hop would have been much flatter, and he wouldn't have got as close as his shot would have looked a little bit more like mine, well, without the backspin, where it would have just kind of rolled out towards the left. But you saw he got really aggressive on that right side, and you saw it really kick towards the right for that first hop. And but aside from that, hopefully this video, was beneficial for you guys, and your Tour 11 play is going to improve, and you'll be getting lower scores and more trophies. And of course, more coins comes with it. So good luck, guys.